Test ends June 30th, 2025. No purchase necessary. See website for details.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Good morning, Las Vegas. What's going on? No, you can't sleep out there. Pep it up, everybody. I'm here 8 a.m. for the Mark Hoke Show. You should be too. You should be excited, thrilled. Hear that bell ring and off you go. Let's do this. You know, there's some people that are probably not having the best of weekends in pro wrestling, and we're going to talk all about it. And, of course, a very special guest coming up later on, as we're going to have Josh Barnett of BloodSport, man. Unbelievable shows he's been putting on. And they're going to be here in Las Vegas on Thursday the 17th, 8 p.m. at the Pearl Theater at the Palms. And it's a very different kind of wrestling show. More MMA-style stuff, and we're going to get to talk to Josh about that in the second hour. But, of course, I got to talk to these guys because, you know, I just feel lonely without them. I wish I could hang out with them every day. Let's bring them in here. Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling in Austin, Texas. Stu, how are you this morning?
I'm okay. Late night last night, Austin FC going to a 0-0 draw with Portland.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know it was, but you know, hey, at least they didn't get beat. Defense is outstanding. They just got to start finding some more scoring opportunities. But other than that, it's actually a chilly morning here in Central Texas. It's like in the 40s. So, yeah. You know, it's our last bit of chill before we hit summer in about 3 weeks.
Yeah, us too. Another guy who will be suffering from Arizona. Let's bring him in from adfreeshows.com. Josh Rosenbaum, otherwise known as Coach Rosey. What's up, Coach?
Great night of basketball last night. Sorry about your Lady Horns there, Stu. They gave it their best effort against South Carolina, but we got Dynasty tonight. We got Vegas in 2 weeks. It's like being a kid in a candy shop.
It is going to be a wild time in pro wrestling over the next couple of weeks. And, of course, as Coach Rosey mentioned, AEW Dynasty is emanating tonight from Philadelphia. So a huge pay-per-view that we'll be talking about later on in the show. And the road to WrestleMania continues. Guys, the tickets are starting to get sold a little bit. We're getting there. Sneaking it up. Well, I've got the numbers. It's all right. It's all right. It's coming. But I want to talk about what happened in the ring as we get ready for WrestleMania. And I'll tell you what, let's just start with the ladies, shall we? And what happened with Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton in that promo that kind of, you guys remember the Back to the Future scene, you know, where Doc in Back to Future 3, where Doc drives the train off the tracks into the canyon? Yeah, that's about what happened on SmackDown on Friday night, as Charlotte couldn't get a word in edgewise, was getting booed out of the building, and Tiffany Stratton took a massive personal shot just after Charlotte had been on the Sherry talk show discussing her divorces and, you know, how much it hurts to be divorced for a third time and just the whole thing. And Tiffany Stratton said, "You're going to end up alone and you're 0-3. And just that was tough to watch, guys. Coach, let me hit you first. What do you think about that whole thing?
I don't know where these youngsters think that they can just pop off on our seasoned veterans. You know, Charlotte is coming back. She did draw some great heat from the crowd. But for Tiffy to think that she can go off script like that and take a shot at Charlotte, I found that to be very unprofessional, especially so close to WrestleMania.
Well, it's interesting that you say that way, because one thing that happened, Charlotte just couldn't talk and said, I'm just going to let you get the last word. And I don't know if Tiffany was steaming from the last promo or, how they had worked that out, but good Lord, that was a nasty, nasty shot at the end, Steve Myrick.
It was a train wreck. It was absolutely a train wreck. It actually, after that promo, I could care less about this match. As far as who went off script, I don't know. Charlotte looked flustered by the crowd reaction. Now, look, we know WWE and AEW, they sometimes use a little crowd sweetening, but Charlotte was getting Dominic Mysterio type boos.
Oh, it was rough.
She was getting booed out of the building. And I don't know if that is an indicator of just this run, or if it's an indicator of we're tired of Charlotte, because every time she, every time she goes and comes back from like an injury or something, they vault her to the top. It's been constant. As far as Tiffany going off on the divorces, I am, I'm an old school guy. So I am of the opinion that the personal life should stay out of the wrestling promos. And Charlotte, after she made the line about the divorces, Charlotte screams, well, then explain why Kaiser's in my DMs. Now that was kind of like as Tiffany was leaving the ring. But all in all, this was just an absolute train wreck of a promo from the beginning. And you got, let's see, so we're 2 weeks away from Mania. And I am, like I said, this is going to be let's go to the bathroom, get some refreshments, man. I couldn't care less. I'll be honest.
Wow.
Look, and I think the odds right now, I think Charlotte is favored to win. And I think most everybody expects Charlotte to win and win the title. So it's that doesn't help things either. There's no intrigue with this match. And that soap opera of a promo made it worse.
And, when I heard the promo, one thing that, and you said it, Stu, and, I'm kind of old school on this too, that you leave stuff that's extremely personal out of this. And as someone who's gone through a divorce and has been dealing with the fallout of a divorce for nearly a decade, it's hard to watch that. And, we don't know what happened between the two of them. There's no information out there. I saw some people making some stuff up that I just couldn't believe, but it's painful to see that,
especially when the man she divorced is in the locker room.
Exactly. That's tough too. And he actually went on X and said something nice about her, and, and good for him. But I can imagine, you saw the reactions that I read that people were like, wow, that actually happened, backstage. And, WWE apparently wasn't too happy about it. And I don't blame them. But, one thing I think it was partly Charlotte got thrown off, which rarely happens. But she did. She turned it over to Tiffany. And I think she was just going through, after that discussion that happened on the talk show the day before, I'm sure that getting destroyed like that really hurt her. I could only picture that. It's like, it's like John Cena getting booed all the time. You got to kind of shake your head like, what did I do wrong? And
WWE has edited out the divorce part in the
they did
videos.
Yeah,
it
they
says
got rid of it.
0 for 3. Woo! Doesn't say divorce.
Yeah, so they didn't like it either. But you brought up, Stu brought up about Coach about the positioning that Charlotte's in, and some of this is WWE's fault because they, Vince overbooked her, winning championships, to try and get her really close to where her dad was, and Rick's name came up in the promo, of course, and And when she came back, it wasn't an ease in. It was, hey, you know what? She wins the Royal Rumble and she's taking on Tiffany Stratton for the championship. It didn't just put Tiff in a bad spot. It put Charlotte in a really bad spot too. And that heat that she was getting, I don't think it was the "we hate you" heat. It was the "we don't like you, we don't want you around" heat, which is a shame for Charlotte.
They don't want her in that position. That's the thing. And I'll be honest, since Charlotte has come back from the knee injury, she has not looked comfortable. It's been interesting. I mean, it's been interesting to watch her because you can see it when she gives her promo. She's not comfortable. I don't know if it's allegedly she likes being a heel, which that's fine. There's several, I think a lot of wrestlers do that, but the crowd reaction she is getting every week has flustered her a little bit. Now, I don't know if that means I don't know if they need to pivot. They can't pivot. It's 2 weeks away.
Too late.
But there's something they've got to fix something. Otherwise, they're going to reject her worse than they rejected Roman Reigns, leading up to WrestleMania 32 when it was in Arlington. It's getting that bad.
You can have Tiffany win. You can do that.
I think that might be the only way to save it.
Right.
Just have Tiffany retain.
Yeah, I would actually agree with that at this point. I think that Charlotte has just, like I said, she's just been booked so badly over the years, and it's come up to this moment. And I don't know why they decided to have her win the Royal Rumble right when he came out, because honestly, it ruined the Rumble for the women. Once she was in there, we all knew she was going to win. So it's like, okay, great. We're just watching some women out there perform till Charlotte gets in there and takes care of business. And same thing. And on the men's side, it's been a tough spot too. I can't remember a year where the two Royal Rumble winners have brought so little excitement to WrestleMania. You had that promo here, the match with Gunther and Jimmy Uso, where Jimmy got beat up while Jay was handcuffed, and Gunther was rubbing his blood all over him. So maybe that added a little heat to that match. But guys, the Royal Rumble has turned out to be a somewhat of a failure this year for WWE.
Oh, definitely. Not to mention the fact that despite what they were saying about the Royal Rumble winners, neither one of them are in the main events.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Now, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't quite see the deal with Jay. I think that one it's definitely on better par than Charlotte. Is it exciting? Not really. Could that one be saved by Jay winning? Sure. Because that'll be the, David defeating Goliath. That's the, beating the man that can't be beat. I think they're trying to salvage it, and it's not an abject failure. There's just not a lot of oomph.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Coach, did they do enough with the Jimmy Uso beatdown to get you excited about this match? Because I'll be honest with you, I still want Gunther to win this match. I do.
Yeah, no, if anything, it was way too much blood. Hint, hint. They've been getting on AEW about the amount of blood. And all of a sudden they have all this color. I'm really interested to see once WrestleMania, and I'm hopeful that it's going to be a great WrestleMania. But I want to see what the fans are going to start saying about Triple H in his booking, because he's been the golden child. He had the bloodline. He couldn't do anything wrong. Now we're coming into a time where people are starting to really question not only this booking, but the direction of where WWE is going to go. And it'll be interesting what happens when the heat is on Triple H.
I agree. And we're going to talk more about that when we come back from break here on the Mark Hoke Show. Some matches have been added to WrestleMania, and I think they've made more difficulties for themselves than I think they realize. So we're going to talk more about that. We'll be back with Stu Myrick, Coach Rosey. I'm Mark Hoke on the Mark Hoke Show. And don't forget Josh Barnett from BloodSport coming up second hour. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Looking for high-quality custom screen printing in Las Vegas? Look no further than Off-Grid Creations. Need a few custom t-shirts for a local event, band merchandise, or family reunion? We've got you covered. Large order of uniforms for your staff, sports team, or club? We can handle that too. Our experienced team will work closely with you throughout the entire process from design consultation to final product. Call us at 661-300-1115. That's 661-300-1115. Or visit our website at off-gridcreations.com. Get a free consultation today.
For 30 years, the LGBTQ Center of Nevada has been a safe and welcoming place to celebrate and serve the entire community. The center advocates for the empowerment and safety of everyone. It provides wellness services for better mental, physical, and holistic health. And the center connects people to the community. Learn more at thecenterlv.org. This message is sponsored by a grant through the Sands Corporation, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Lowe's knows how to freshen up your yard, and it all starts with mulch. That's why we're introducing Mulch Week during Springfest with can't miss savings. Right now, get 5 bags of Stay Green Premium Color 2 cubic foot mulch for only $10. Plus, members earn 5 times the points on select mulch purchases all week long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 4/9. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have a plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all 3 with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym. Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text BICEP to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text BICEP to 42424. That's BICEP to 42424. Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, let's keep it rolling. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 1015 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. We're also on the Odyssey app. If you haven't downloaded the Odyssey app, well, shame on you. Your ancestors will be coming to your house and haunting you if you don't. So go get it right now, AUDACY, and you can check out my show, all the other great shows that are on KDAWN and from around the world, like Sports Guys Talking Wrestling with Stu Myrick. It's also on the Odyssey app, so make sure you hop on there and get that app. We're also live streaming YouTube, Facebook, X. You can hop in the chat box, say hi to us, if you have any questions, comments, or, tell Coach Rosey you don't like his glasses or something like that. Go for it, man. Have a great time. So we're talking more WrestleMania as we are just 2 weeks away from the showcase of the Immortals. Some bad news happened with Kevin Owens. Of course, Kevin went out to the ring and told everybody that his neck has been severely damaged, and we don't know when Kevin's getting back. And then, of course, some idiot fans made some rude comment to him when he was headed back, and Kevin actually went up to him and said, "Say that to my face," and the guy apologized immediately. But not only, guys, a huge loss for WWE with Kevin Owens, But now Randy Orton doesn't have a dance partner. That's not good either. Coach, what do you think?
I'm sad. That might have been the best match on the entire WrestleMania card.
You might be right.
Randy and Kevin. But I'll continue to show hope toward Triple H. I'm just thinking this morning who we can find as a viable opponent for Randy, but I'm at a loss of who I would truly believe would have a chance to beat the Viper on the grandest of all stages, being WrestleMania. Maybe you guys have somebody.
Honestly, I don't either. Stu, I've seen a lot of people saying Karrion Kross, and I'm like, why would you kill Cross's momentum that he's building by throwing him out there with Randy Orton? Unless you beat him, I guess. But this is, I mean, I don't know, Stu. Do you just keep Randy off the card, or of course, if you would just booked him against Cody Rhodes, like I said, 9 or 10 months ago, that might have worked out too. We wouldn't have had this problem.
Well, they would have done that if The Rock hadn't gotten in the way, which I've been saying for the last few weeks. I saw a suggestion. Now, mind you, I don't think it's, so I saw, I'll just say it, Aleister Black.
That wouldn't be bad.
Have him surprise everybody. Make it a surprise opponent. Book it. Nick Aldis comes out and says, we have an opponent for you at WrestleMania. It is a surprise. And then have Aleister Black. So if you see the vignettes that they've been showing on SmackDown, I think they've been hinting that it would be, I guess, the SmackDown following WrestleMania.
Maybe
but have him surprise it. Nobody will be mad about a surprise early debut.
Speaking of that, there is another guy they could possibly pull out, because apparently they've brought Rusev back into the mix. Could do a little double DQ with those two. And maybe see if you can get CJ Perry to come back and say hi, since they're back together.
If Mike Johnson is right, and he was spotted at WWE headquarters in Stamford, and he did re-sign with WWE, why not? He's ready to go. You wouldn't take much.
He's well rested.
Yeah, he's definitely well rested. You're right. That could be intriguing. You don't necessarily have to have Rusev go over. It can be just, I'm trying to think if they'd ever, faced each other, and I can't recall. Maybe on a house show or something, but I think that could be intriguing as well.
Yeah, the other one that I don't want to see that people suggest is have him take on Nick Aldis, because he did take Aldis out at on SmackDown after the whole thing with the announcement. But if you're when you use Nick, it's got to be done the right way, and I don't want to see Nick just get in there and take a loss, right off the bat. That would be a bad decision.
This isn't the match for Nick Aldis. Look, he's ring ready, of course. I love people that suggest, hey, Nick Aldis versus Adam Pearce, two former NWA World Heavyweight champions. Why not? I'm sure Adam Pearce could get ring ready and have that match. That would be a cool one-off just for the hell of it. But outside of that, no, Nick Aldis doesn't need to be getting the ring against Randy Orton.
Yeah, I'm kind of running down the list too. Maybe Sheamus. That would be a possibility, I suppose.
He's gonna lose. I need someone that has a chance of winning. Besides R-Truth, I cannot think of somebody else that I would think that has a shot of beating Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
Shinsuke?
I don't think he has a chance of beating him, but it'd be a great match.
That'd be intriguing.
But it's just the problem. There's no time to build the match.
You're right.
I think an open challenge or a surprise opponent. And the more I think about it, I think Rusev would probably be the guy to go to.
Yeah.
If they've signed him, get him in there.
It's got to be a surprise challenge. I don't think. I I mean, it could be, or it could be an open challenge. Just say Randy Orton's going to have an open challenge, and then have Rusev come out. I mean, like I said, and I don't think it would hurt too much if Randy still goes over. But
make it a schmoz finish. Do a double DQ or something like that.
True.
Maybe you could start something up with those guys for a little while and do something good with it. But I mean, tough spot there for that. And now we also have the war over Paul Heyman. As I tell you what, if I was CM Punk, man, I'd have wanted a better favor than that. But the favor was Paul Heyman is going to be in CM Punk's corner in this match instead of the tribal chief. Seth Rollins just kicking back and giggling because I think that Paul Heyman will probably be walking out with him by the time this is all over. But Coach, is that the favor you wanted? Did you think it was good?
No, that was not the favor that I wanted. Does it bring any intrigue into the match? A little bit, but nothing that's going to, really change the match. I was hoping for some type of stipulation because there really is no stipulation in this match. When you have something on a match, it makes it a little bit more interesting. So I'm hoping in the next 2 weeks or so, they maybe put a number one contender. Who knows what stipulation they can put on this match, but to be a main event at WrestleMania, I think you need to have a stipulation.
It's just a shame that we don't have Rock Roman and we don't have CM Punk and Gunther. But, once again, just me. What do I know? I'm not employed by WWE. Some other matches that got added to the card this week. AJ Styles and Logan Paul are going to be going at it, fellers. Stu, you feeling it? A little?
Sure, as long as AJ goes over.
Not going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen either.
That he had was pretty bad. Was phenomenal. That what's his name had Paul. He had that kind of like a DDT spinning move. He's athletic, and once he gets all the pieces together, he's going to be world champ one day.
The thing is, so Logan Paul's a heel. If you go old school booking, book him as the dastardly heel, a loss should not hurt him. It's not a, that was the storytelling back in the day. The dastardly heel would get over, and then you finally have the match where he loses. It's because you got to have good triumphing over evil. I mean, and look, a little bit of this is my personal bias against Logan Paul. I don't find him interesting. He's got great skill set. I just couldn't care less about him. So,
Stu, I think you need to drink some bottles of Prime. I think that would change your opinion.
I won't even buy a bottle of Prime.
Prime's good. I like Prime.
I don't know. Nothing to support him. I will do nothing to support him. So and whereas AJ Styles, one of the best wrestlers of this generation.
Or how about we book it like this, Stu, to make you happy?
Okay.
AJ loses, but he has to go back to TNA to find his roots. So after the loss, he goes back to TNA, has a huge run in TNA, and becomes some type of champion.
That'd be all right.
Actually, that's not a half bad idea. I like it. Go back to TNA, find his roots, have him go up against Moose for the X Division title, because that title is synonymous with AJ Styles. And then AJ Styles comes back as the TNA X Division champion.
Yeah, well, there's one other problem too, that apparently AJ's contract is up soon too. So we got to get that business taken care of.
True.
Another match was added. The U.S. champ's going to be defending the title. It's LA Knight and Jacob Fatu. Fatu is red hot. LA Knight, everybody loves him. But Stu, could this be the end of the megastar if Jacob Fatu goes over? This is a bad spot for LA Knight.
I'm a huge fan of LA Knight, Eli Drake, whatever you want to call him. And I would love to see him continue as champion, but yeah, they're going to put the belt on Jacob. I mean, Jacob is just he is so hot right now. They're going to put the belt on him, and we will eventually see the split of him and Solo leading to Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa for the U.S. title.
So, Coach, what happens to LA Knight? What happens?
On this one, I'm the opposite of you on this, Stu. I'm getting sick of LA Knight. I'm getting sick of the whole shtick. Put him back with those modeling guys. Give him a fresh coat of paint. But man, no, it's not that bad.
People are going to hate you in Las Vegas for that. You know that, right?
Slight problem with that is they're in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, the werewolf is primed to be the head of the table within the next year. If they want to continue going with that Ula Fala deal, because everybody loves Jacob, with his masks and how he comes into the ring and all the little idiosyncrasies with the little promos with Sikoa. There's a lot of little Easter eggs in each of the promos, and each of them coming out that's going to explode down the line.
Well, and just the way he wrestles too. I mean, he's like a honey badger in there, man. He's just in there to kill every time, and people love it. I just feel bad for Sean that he's could end up getting pushed down the card because of this. And, here's a guy that people were really putting a lot of stock in, and all of a sudden, he's going to take another dip down. So we'll see how that all turns out for LA Knight and Jacob Fatu. We got Jade and Naomi. And here's another weird situation, because you have Jade Cargill, who has apparently got some backstage heat, maybe not quite there yet. And Naomi is turned heel and is becoming an incredibly fascinating character. I think she, the new look, the new attitude, she is absolutely going for it. And what are you going to do to her? You're going to get her smashed at WrestleMania, maybe. Honestly, I'm putting Naomi over in this match somehow. Let this feud go on, but you can't have Naomi take a hard loss at WrestleMania when you just revamped her.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, there's Jade Cargill's hot. She's the future. I get it. I think this is one of those Naomi goes over via some sort of shenanigans and have this feud continue on. This is a feud that could last a little while. And I'm the opposite. I like this. I like this rivalry because it's pure, it's simple. The bad guy, beats up the good guy, and they battle each other. Okay, that's simple. That's simple and effective. So, but I think I'm with you, Mark. I think I want to see Naomi go over again, pull tights, have interference, whatever, foreign object, and let this feud continue at least. I don't know. Do you have to maybe till SummerSlam?
Yeah. I mean, I just don't want to see, Naomi get buried on this. So it's going to be an interesting match as well, and see how they book their way out of that one. And then we've also, last match has been officially added. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are going to be defending their women's tag team titles against whoever wins a gauntlet match coming up here. So, we'll get a nice, fun tag team match out there, but still only 9 matches officially on the card, guys. And that's surprising with only 2 weeks to go, Coach.
Where's El Grande Americano?
That's right. El Generico. Still sticking with it.
I agree.
Still sticking with it. But you got to figure, guys, that they've got to get at least, you're at 9. I would think you've probably got to get to between the 2 nights, 14. Wouldn't you say 7 a night?
That's true.
Maybe 6.
7 matches a night. Yeah, you're at 9 now, so you need at least 5 more.
And no build. It's going to be 2
weeks. Yeah, it's going to be
2 weeks.
Now, so you got this El Grande Americano. Something tells me it's him and Ray Phoenix, which, by the way, fantastic debut for Ray Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I am a huge fan of him and Penta. Drove them around Austin a little bit years ago.
Nice.
I'm a huge fan of Ray Phoenix. I think, that's going to add some really cool stuff. Of course, what we have seen of them, and there's in AEW and TNA and everywhere else. Interesting that they put Penta on Raw and Phoenix on SmackDown. Although if you see their logos, very similar, and they acknowledge on the broadcast that yes, they are brothers. Even mentioned about their tag title reigns as the Lucha Brothers. But yeah, I think that one could be cool. I have no clue what else they would book. But yeah, you got to get at least 5 more matches.
Yeah, this is going to.
And to give you an indication on how bad the tag team division is, I just had to look up on my phone because I was having a little mental fritz. Who are the tag team champions in WWE? And it came to me, the Street Profits and the War Raiders. Mm-hmm. But you haven't seen them at all being mentioned at all for WrestleMania. And a lot of times in a pay-per-view, the tag team match is the banger of all the matches, and they haven't even discussed bringing in the tag champs either of them. Well,
we did see on Raw this past week as they're passing each other on the walkway, War Raiders and New Day. So I got a feeling that's going to be a match booked. And as much as I hate it, because I love Eric and Ivar, Hanson and Rowe, whatever you want to call them, I got a feeling New Day will go over on that one. But I got a feeling that one will get booked. War Raiders, War Machine against New Day.
Well, and you would think that the other tag titles, you've been rotating those titles between, you have the Street Profits are champs now, but DIY, Motor City Machine Guns. I would think you could put a good triple threat together on that, but I mean, I can't imagine those guys are going to get left off the card. But
because Gato's booking this, not Triple H. Gato's doing this from Japan.
Nice.
He thinks it's Wrestle Kingdom again.
Yeah, well, you know what? Triple threats are okay. Not a ton of them, but they're okay. So a lot of questions still up for grabs here for WrestleMania coming up on Easter weekend here in Las Vegas, and it's going to be a wild week for sure. And don't forget, coming up, Josh Barnett from his BloodSport 13 is going to be here at the Pearl Theater at the Palms, 8 p.m. So get ready for that, and we're going to have some fun talking to Josh Barnett. I'm just hoping he doesn't hurt any one of us, because he would be very, very capable of doing so. And I know Coach Rosey's very happy because he booked his hotels with the travelshark.com/Hoke show and scored some big savings. I was on one of the other travel sites, and just was comparing some notes and saw, for example, that the Oyo on that site is $136 a night for WrestleMania, but it's only $88 a night on the travelshark.com/Hoke show. Man, that's some serious coin. And that's one of the cheaper hotels. So guys, if you need to book your rooms for WrestleMania or anywhere else for that matter, go to the travelshark.com/Hoke show. It's powered by Priceline. You get those employee prices, the mystery prices, but it's no mystery. All you got to do is sign up. So head over there to the travelshark.com/Hoke show. That's the really important part. And book your hotels for WrestleMania and wherever else you're headed today.
I'd say $300 on the whole trip.
Nice.
$100 less a night.
That is
Westgate.
Wow. So there you go. Coach Rosey's vouching. Certainly appreciate it. All right. And when we come back, more news from WWE and so much more happening. Of course, AEW Dynasty's coming up, and a lot of great things happening in Vegas too. So stick around, everybody. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Manny at Fetchatech, the best plumbing and AC company here in Las Vegas. And I have to tell you that I love my dog, Ollie. And that's why we'll give you 10% off any plumbing or AC repairs if you have a pet in the house. Not kidding. At Fetchatech Air Conditioning and Plumbing, we show up on time, we keep our word, and are as loyal as your favorite dog. So what you waiting for? Call or Google Fetchatech and get an automatic 10% discount on repairs, or get a $49 AC tune-up. And as we all know, you can always trust someone who loves dogs. So call Fetchatech We're doggone good and we're doggone fast. And if you have a pet, you get 10% off plumbing or AC repairs and a $49 tune-up. So call Fetch a Tech right now at 702-509-2000 or just Google Fetch a Tech. That's 702-509-2000 or Google Fetch a Tech and we'll come a-running.
Fetch a Tech, service that's a breed apart.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
Yeah, put him up, everybody. Let's go. Except when Josh Barnett's here, and then we're going to have our hands right down by our sides, and everybody's going to be very nice when he shows up next hour. So get ready for that. That's going to be a terrific interview with Josh Barnett from BloodSport. Man, that I'll tell you, those shows are getting a lot of great names on it, guys. This is going to be a lot of fun to see how this one turns out in Vegas. But man, Barnett's doing some pretty neat stuff. So
I'll be there Thursday night. You want to join me, Mark? Let's go.
I would. Yes, let's go.
Okay,
done. Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, Bloodsport's always one of the highlights of WrestleMania weekend, and this year looks like it's going to be no exception.
Yeah, it is a pretty loaded card. I mean, since we're talking about it, let me just pull it up here real quick.
They've got 5 WWE wrestlers on there.
Yeah,
Pete Dunne, Natalya, Tavion Heights, Karrion Kross,
and Shayna Baszler.
Shayna Baszler, yeah.
Yeah, and also that are going to be there. Royce Isaacs is going to be there. Jonathan Gresham. Zack Sabre Jr. is taking on Jonathan Gresham.
Yeah.
That is going to be that's going to be a pretzel fest right there. That's going to be insane. We've got a couple of Layla Hirsch is going to be there. Charlie Dempsey. I mean, Timothy Thatcher. This is going to be a lot of fun. So, you're going to want to look forward to hearing from Josh Barnett about that. And you can get your tickets on Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
Right.
Natalya's taking on Miyu Yamashita. We've actually seen Miyu Yamashita here in Austin at Inspire. Called her match. I think it was against either Vert Vixen or Maya World, and that was a hell of a match. Fantastic. Miyu Yamashita, one of the best Joshi wrestlers out there right now.
Yeah, and for those that don't know about Bloodsport, they take the ropes off. They're fighting on a platform, and it's more of MMA style matches than your traditional wrestling match. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And just the more I'm thinking about Zack Sabre and Jonathan Gresham, I mean, take my money, because those two guys know what they're doing. Jonathan Gresham is a great technical wrestler, million holds, and Zack Sabre Jr. when I saw him against Bryan Danielson, the exhibition that those two guys put on, unreal. So you're going to see some fun chain wrestling and just athleticism like crazy. It should be great. One thing that happened last night, and I wanted to make sure, almost forgot about this, but I want to get that in this hour. Major League Wrestling had an interesting night last night, guys. I don't know if you saw this or not, but there were a few big names in the house for MLW.
Hammerstone.
Yeah, Matt Riddle defended his championship. He's got an exclusive contract with them. He did a 40-man battle royal to defend his title and won it. But RVD was there last night. Hammerstone was there, which shocked me because I heard some interesting things about the relationship between MLW and Hammerstone. But also there, Chris Adonis was there. Raj Desi, that was the Jinder Mahal. He was there. And Bishop Dyer, who was Baron Corbin, also there. Dominic Dijak was there. Guys, MLW, that $10 million they got from WWE, they might be spending it pretty wisely.
I tell you what, Battle Riot's always it's one of their signature events, and it's always a fun event. I got to go several years ago when WrestleMania weekend was in New York, and they did Battle Riot in Queens, I believe, and they had Dan Severn come out. Of course, one of the baddest dudes ever. This was back when MJF was still a part of Major League Wrestling. In fact, he was number 1 and Dan Severn was number 2. MVP was a part of it. They had also that Blue Meanie was there. So they bring in the talent. So those names do not surprise me. Major League Wrestling is that company that they always put on solid shows, and they just don't get talked about a lot because they don't have, kind of like with TNA, they don't have a great TV deal. It's, BN Sport, I think. Otherwise, everything's on YouTube. But Major League Wrestling, they're one of the ones that you should keep an eye on.
Yeah, Coach, this is a pretty good night for them, to say the least.
Yeah, I've been starting to watch him since Bischoff had that little bit of where he went in and booked it. But no, I've always liked him. That's where I learned about Jacob Fatu when him and Hammerstone were getting busy a couple years ago. Those matches were a great story for about a year or two. Yeah, they have money now. And who knows? Maybe with that lawsuit, maybe Riddle goes back and gets a WrestleMania match sometime. The way that our world is working, everybody but AEW is playing kind with one another and letting people share one another. So you never know. I was excited by it. I'm assuming that they'll have something going on in Vegas, and I'd like to go check them out as well. But the best is yet to come because there is so much talent in this world and so little spots in all the major companies that you can go to any independent, not any, but a lot of independents and see a pay-per-view quality card with the amount of talent that they have in the indies nowadays.
Yeah. And oh, sorry, go ahead, Stu.
No, I was just saying absolutely. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's intriguing too with NXT. Now Ricky Saints, is the new North American champion. So a belt on him already. And of course, Sean Spears is still flying around there. Ethan Page, just taking everybody from TNA or AEW and just sticking them right in NXT and go play. And
then Ethan Page made an appearance on TNA, and now he's in a triple threat for the TNA World Title against Frankie Kazarian and Joe Hendry.
Yeah, that's going to be wild. It's the world of pro wrestling is getting. It used to be so segmented, but now it's time that everybody did kind of come together. And and AEW has done their work too. They're working with Japan and all over the place. And so there's a lot of cooperation. It's pretty exciting. So we're gonna be diving into it as we go along. Of course, once again, Josh Barnett coming up in hour number 2 here on the Mark Hoke Show. We're very excited to have him joining us. So stick around for that. And, we'd like you to stick around with us too. So if you take a second and go and subscribe to us on YouTube at the Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, the Mark Hoke Show, and on X is at Mark Hoke Show, we'd certainly appreciate it. Facebook and all those great places. And, we're going to get the Instagram going and the TikToks and all that fun stuff. Thanks to our good friend Mike Franco from Off Grid Creations. And we'll talk more about that great company in the second hour as well. Stick around, guys. This is going to be fun. Josh Barnett is going to be invading the house. And the War Master, well, it's his show after that. So stick around, everybody, for hour 2 of the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas. We'll be right back. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show, and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join the Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
Attention, Wedgwood Homes is actively buying homes in your neighborhood from Pahrump to Boulder City and all over the Las Vegas Valley. We buy homes for cash with no fees, no commissions, no hassles, and no repairs. Wedgwood Homes can close in as little as 3 days or on your timeline. Whether you're selling as is, relocating, downsizing, or if you have tough rental properties, just inherited a home, foreclosures, or are just financially stressed right now, make your next move with Wedgwood Homes. No matter the situation, Wedgwood Homes will help turn your home into cash. It's easy. No repairs, no cleanings, no showings. The Wedgwood Homes team of dedicated professionals in Las Vegas will hold your hand throughout the process. Wedgwood Homes won't reduce their offers. Our track record proves it, and we're revitalizing communities in Las Vegas for 20 years. Call now for a no-obligation, all-cash offer from Wedgwood Homes, 702-996-3583. Wedgwood Homes, Las Vegas's trusted home buyer, 702-996-3583, 702-996-3583, or connect with us at wedgwoodhomes.com.
Are you purchasing or leasing a new vehicle and need some extra cash for a down payment? Dollar Loan Center has you covered.
Dollar Loan Center. Dollar Loan Center. Dollar Loan Center.
Getting a new vehicle is always expensive. Down payment, registration, insurance, title, and tags, it never ends. But Don'tBeBroke.com can help. At Dollar Loan Center, you can get a signature loan up to $5,000, and you get your money the same day. Actually, you usually get it in around 30 minutes. It's that quick. And unlike your car loan, less than perfect credit is the norm at DLC. Stop by one of our 60 locations, apply over the phone with a real person, or online at don'tbebroke.com from the comfort of your smartphone.
Dollar Loan Center.
Dollar Loan Center has you covered.
Licensed by Nevada Financial Institutions Division. Subject to approval, limitations may apply. See website for details.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, huh?
My brother got life insurance from Ethos and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/sports. Ethos.com/sports.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Lowe's knows member-only doorbuster deals make SpringFest savings even better. Right now, rewards members can get 3 19.3-ounce Bonnie Plants vegetables and herbs for just $10. Plus, save $50 on a Char-Broil Performance Series 4-burner grill, now $149. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 4/7, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location, subject to change, while supplies last. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms.
KMXB HD3 Henderson, K260HCS Las Vegas. Always live on the free Odyssey app. 101.5 FM KDAWN.
Deadly storms and flooding. I'm Paul Stevens, Fox News. Areas in several states are underwater after days of heavy rain. At least 16 people losing their lives due to flooding and tornadoes.
The rivers will rise even while the flash flooding begins to diminish a little bit. Mayfield, Kentucky, over 13 inches. Mayfield, by the way, a few years ago, is the town that was hit by that massive tornado that caused all those fatalities. So now getting additional kind of real problematic weather system here. All of this rain on the backside of this much colder area, and we've got snow across parts of Texas and into Oklahoma this morning, but right down across parts of southeastern Mississippi, we've got one tornado warning. This has been a confirmed tornado on the ground heading right across Interstate 59. Be very careful this morning. And if you are in anywhere in that area, you need to take shelter immediately from that tornado.
And that's Fox Chief Meteorologist Rick Reichmuth. Nationwide protests yesterday, Saturday, aimed at President Trump and Elon Musk.
Over 1,200 hands-off demonstrations were planned across the country yesterday to protest everything from Trump's immigration crackdown to Doge's mass firing of federal workers. And the backlash to Trump policies and Doge has Elon Musk surprised. In an interview yesterday, he defended Doge, saying the agency is cutting the, quote, most obvious terrible expenses that make no sense. And according to the Doge website, $140 billion has been saved for taxpayers so far, but the agency's work continues. Reportedly, the Department of Homeland Security is being targeted this week by Doge for potential staffing cuts, as well as the Secret Service and FEMA.
And that's Fox's Chanley Painter. The U.S. immediately revoking all visas held by those from South Sudan, barring also any of that country's future visas from being issued. Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying, quote, South Sudan's traditional government refuses to accept the return of its deported citizens in a timely manner. America's listening to Fox News.
Fox News Audio presents the Fox Nation Investigates podcast, Evil Next Door, exploring the life and crimes of 5 serial predators from across the United States.
It's a very disturbing case.
Never-before-heard interviews and first-hand perspectives.
Described as pure evil. That's a good description.
The Fox Nation Investigates podcast, Evil Next Door. Listen and follow now at foxtruecrime.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Get those W-2s ready. Tax season has arrived. It's the Fox Business Tax Tips. Fox News Radio's Ginny Casola and Hillary Barsky are joined by the hosts of the Fox Business Network to provide you with the latest tips, tricks, and updates on filing your taxes. From deadlines to tax law changes to the latest deductions, we'll cover it all to make sure you keep that hard-earned money where it belongs, in your pocket. Listen and follow the Fox Business Tax Tips at foxnewspodcasts.com.
Get your daily dose of news with a Fox News Rundown. A contrast of perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. Going far beyond the headlines. Tomorrow morning at 5 on 101.5 FM KDAWN.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
All right, Las Vegas back for hour number 2 of the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Also streaming on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Make sure you download that app. And you know what? The Wizard of Oz will show up and let you go home. It'll be great. So make sure you download that app. Stu Myrick shaking his head there. Sorry, they can't all be winners, Stu. Coach Rosey from Ad Free Shows here as well. And we're going to have a great time this hour, fellas. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. That's great. That's fantastic. Of course, we're also live streaming on YouTube, X, and Facebook. Just look up the Mark Hoke Show, and we'll get you rolling there, too. Hop in the comment boxes. You know, maybe you've got a question for our new guest. We've never had him on the show before, but I am very excited to have this guy here. He is the War Master, the mastermind of BloodSport. Josh Barnett is in the house. Josh, welcome to the show.
Howdy.
Welcome. By the way, I wanted to, I know it was a little while ago, but your match that you had up at with AEW up in Seattle, I was there. By the way, great job with you and Claudio. That was terrific.
Thank you. You know, I generally try not to get too much into. I'm going to pop some headphones in. I generally get too much into the weeds about, you know, how we do these things, but you know, that's wrestling without scripting a match. Like there was nothing really plan. We just wrestled, which is, in my opinion, a lost art.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, everybody's got this so planned out from the beginning. It's crazy. And, it used to be everybody just hopped into the ring and, called a match and had a good time for 20 to 30 minutes. And that was it. So,
yeah,
absolutely. Well, of course, Josh, you have been beating people up for a very, very long time, even since you were a kid. And, Bloodsport is really starting to catch on with everybody. You were, youngest UFC champ of all time, and have been fighting MMA and just doing everything, man. I can't imagine what you put your body through. I mean, this is one hell of a career that you've had.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily been very kind to the physical side of things. I still have my mental faculties most days, but yeah, I mean, it takes its toll. But I never got into athletics thinking that I would get out of it in one piece necessarily. And there's people that have had it a whole lot worse than me. So it's a sacrifice that you just got to be willing to take.
Yeah. And of course, with so many different mixed martial arts, what are some of your favorite disciplines that you like to work with?
Well, I mean, I think catch wrestling is really the thing that I enjoy the most. But other than that, I've always been a big fan of boxing just as a sport and as an art. And Muay Thai. But I guess another one that could surprise people is that I have a yellow glove in Savate, although my flexibility isn't really where it used to be. But, I trained pretty diligently in Savate, and I love the idea of a kickboxing style that I like to refer to it as like the Floyd Mayweather of kickboxing, where it's more like touch and don't get touched, versus Muay Thai, which is often about more precise counters, but by, taking, blocking, returning. And while there are definitely some Thai boxers that are incredibly hard to hit, a lot of them are very much like straight up. And I saw Savate as sort of the opposite of that, which, fun in its way. I mean, I love all the serious combat sports, but I think because wrestling was what I started with, and then catch wrestling, and those are the things I enjoy most.
So all this love of different mixed martial arts and wrestling and so on has now manifested itself in Bloodsport. And tell everybody a little bit about how the idea came about to start doing the Bloodsport series.
Well, they did an initial show with Matt Riddle, and I was asked to be a part of that one, but it just didn't work out date-wise. And after that show was done, I think that was a WrestleMania week show of all things. Then once Matt Riddle got picked up and signed by the WWE, they came to me and they said, "Hey, look, would you want to be the guy who's the name above title on this thing?" And I said, yes. However, if it's my show, then it's got to be my show. I got to book it, agent it, produce it. Like everything has to change because that first show was awful and nobody knew what they were doing. So, and not to belittle or talk badly about anyone, but this isn't a style that people really know how to do in the States for the most part. It wasn't a pathway that existed. It wasn't something that people were trained to do. And there weren't shows where it was being done so that people could get the reps in the ring either. So, no fault of all those from that initial Bloodsport experiment. But I said, yeah, there's no way my show is going to be completely different. And from my first show in Jersey City moving forward, you could see it was nothing alike the first one, other than the fact of a similarity in look and in terms of the rules. The ring didn't have ropes, but I've taken this from what I would call a gimmick into like a full-fledged, thought-out, planned, and serious structured event.
So tell everybody that is listening that may not be familiar with Bloodsport, what is the difference between going to a Bloodsport card and seeing what you're doing as opposed to going to a regular wrestling card?
I think the easiest way to describe it is it's raw and it's stripped down. Like all the other stuff about wrestling, all the typical entrances, all the general like approaches, and the fighting, sometimes weapons becoming involved. That's all gone. Like all that is removed. The only thing that is there is just wrestling. And while our rule set has stripped it down to where there are no pinfalls, it's just the rawest form of wrestling I can think of. So it's just total basics. But you're not going to see patterns that you see in other wrestling either. Finish could happen at any time. You don't know who's going to win with what, how, whatever. I mean, if you're not paying attention, you've missed it. And a match can end in 30 seconds or 30 minutes.
Yeah, and I remember starting to see the popularity of this building, and one thing that's been incredibly fascinating is that the people that you guys have gotten involved in this, because there are so many professional wrestlers that have martial arts backgrounds, and it's given them a chance to show them off a little bit and do some different things that they normally haven't done. I mean, your last main event, you were just in there with MVP, and that was a wild one, by the way. I got to watch that. But coming up here on the 17th with at the Palms, you've got Natty Neidhart in here, Pete Dunne, Timothy Thatcher, Layla Hirsch, Charlie Dempsey, Karrion Kross is going to be in there, Zack Sabre Jr. and Jonathan Gresham. I don't know how that match will ever end, because I think they're going to just twist each other up and never be able to move. But Shayna Baszler's back, Royce Isaacs. I mean, this is going to be an unbelievable show.
That's the goal, to put matches together that you would only find here. Put matches together where two wrestlers that may have competed against each other before in other rings can do something in a way that you'll never find anywhere else. And, and then there's things like Shinya Aoki versus Charlie Dempsey. There's other matchups we could have made, but you can't get that matchup anywhere but here. That is the matchup I could have made Gresham and Dempsey, or I could have made Zack Sabre Jr. and Shinya Aoki, whatever. But these matches could all happen in Japan or in America. I mean, that could all be put together by somebody else. But you can't have Charlie Dempsey in the same ring as Shinya Aoki anywhere in the world, but in this place, because it's not going to happen in WWE or NXT. Charlie's not going to be over in DDT. It's going to be here.
Do these guys come to you now and say, "Man, I want to be a part of this"? I mean, is this easy to book? They've been doing that since the first show. I have so many wrestlers that approach me that I don't even necessarily have a spot for, or the opportunity to book them at any given time. And then I have a lot of people that they just want to be a part of it because they think it as an opportunity to really raise their status. And I just don't have enough spots for everyone, but we do our best to try and make the most out of it. And we're on the Mark Hoke Show with Josh Barnett, and BloodSport is going to be here in Las Vegas coming up WrestleMania week. It's going to be an awesome time. Stu Myrick, I know you had a question for Josh.
Yeah, Josh, Stu Myrick here in Austin. I want to ask you, so this is the 13th edition of BloodSport on WrestleMania weekend, and this has become one of the events that has been a highlight of WrestleMania weekend, especially for fans. Has the fan popularity has that surprised you in any aspect of it?
No, not really.
Okay.
I don't mean this in a negative way. I don't book for the fans, so to speak. I don't look at what they have to. A lot of times a matchup gets put out there, and all over Twitter's like, "Oh yeah, that was my match. Oh, my dream came true," or you could thank me for this. And it's like, no, I never listened to you. I don't. This was booked before you had any thought about this in your head. But that's not to be derisive. That's to say, like, well, I'm glad that you are churning away and having these discussions. I'm glad that whether you're misguided or not, put it out there in the world, like create the dialogue. Hopefully it doesn't become negative and people aren't just like attacking you, which is also why I never go out there and, try to tell somebody like, oh, you didn't book this, or I want you guys to be engaged. But I don't believe you can successfully book anything if you are trying to book what the fans want, because that's too slow. That's reactive. And if you're doing that, you're not in the lead. And if you're trying to produce something, you need to actually be either trying to figure out what they want before they want it, or tell them that they want something else. You need to be the one in charge. Otherwise, you're not going to make anything worth a damn. And I'm not surprised that I've managed to have the response that I have. I wouldn't be lying if I said I am surprised at the support from the WWE with their wrestlers on this show, which I very much appreciate. But it's also in the same vein where nobody forces me to do anything. I book the matches how I book them, and if I didn't want to book them that way, or if something was a conflict or what I saw as my vision, then it wouldn't be put together. It's as simple as that.
Coach Rosey, you have a question for Josh Barnett.
Yeah, nice to meet you, War Master. Going into booking these types of matches with the talent having so much experience in so many different varieties of fighting, what is the difference between booking a professional wrestling match and booking a blood sport match?
Really not much. If you see pro wrestling the way I do, as you have MMA on one side and pro wrestling on the other, it's shooting or working either way. And it's just, there's one coin and two sides. So for me, I just try to steer the wrestlers towards certain cues and concepts. That's really it. And, if you're not out there trying to win, then you're not doing the right thing. It's as simple as that. Don't less is more. Doesn't always have to be slow. Doesn't always have to be fast. Trust your gut, but and audible when you need to. But really, don't go out there and put together a whole bunch of choreography. And a number one, don't slap anything unless it's their face.
One person that I want to ask you about who's been heavily involved in this, that I'm a big fan of, and I don't think that she gets the respect that she deserves, is Shayna Baszler. And I mean, I have absolutely been enamored with her performances from NXT on up. And, WWE for some reason put the brakes on her a while back. But she is one fascinating individual to me and just so talented. Tell us a little bit about what it's like to work with Shayna and how you feel about her as a professional.
It's very easy to work with Shayna. I've been her head coach for almost the entirety of her MMA career, and I am the guy who trained her and got her into pro wrestling and have been managing her as a pro wrestler from the very get. So for me, it's the easiest person to work with is Shayna. I just put her out there, and they have very little that I have to adjust with her. And by having BloodSport, it's a place where she can just totally be as free as she wants to.
Yeah, she is incredible. So, once again, we've got BloodSport 13 coming up on the 17th at 8 p.m. at the Pearl Theater at the Palms, which is an unbelievable venue. You're going to have a great time down there, and this card is so awesome. And you mentioned about the WWE stars being part of this show and the cooperation that you're getting from them. I mean, I think it's fantastic that WWE has been willing to let them come and do this show with you.
Yeah, me too. I feel like it's often maybe it's not understood, and it is overlooked that every athlete that is a WWE contracted wrestler is somebody that carries with them a massive price tag in terms of the investment that's been put into them. And to allow me to use that investment in my show is a big it's a big example of the trust that they have in me, of the value of the show, and the trust they have in the wrestler themselves. So it is no small thing, although often it's so very easy for fans to look at it and be like, well, why don't they just let this guy do this and do that, and just well, they put probably hundreds of thousands of dollars to $1 million behind this person, and that's one of everybody on the roster. So if that person should get hurt, or who knows what, that could be a huge problem for them. And it's really, I just feel that I'm quite fortunate that what I do has attracted their attention, but it's relationships that have been developed over time. And that's why it is. That's why it happens. And, I'm not forced to take any bookings. I don't have to book anybody if I don't want to. And I know what, if there's any particular wants or needs or anything around any wrestlers, I either accept that or I don't. And that's that.
Well, Natty Neidhart's coming down too. And of course, legendary from the Heart Dungeon, and she's really taken over that. How much fun is that going to be to have Natty on this show and let her go at it?
Oh, it's great. It's Natty is somebody that's been coming around the gyms that I've been at for well over a decade. And I've worked with Natty for a long time. We go we go a long way back. We're close. I'm also, through my relationship with training and being a coach of Harry Smith for so long, having a heart as a part of this is just a really natural fit.
And of course, Karrion Kross is going to be there too. It should be a pretty popular draw here in Las Vegas. I can imagine he's pretty psyched about getting a shot at this too.
Well, yeah, and he's one of my day one guys. I've known Kross for quite a long time. We've always been good buds, and I've always had a lot of belief in him. So, he was a part of BloodSport 1, 2, then he got picked up. And to have him come back around and to be here during WrestleMania week, it's just a natural fit.
So where do you want to see all this go when it's said and done? Because it's growing. And like I said, it caught my attention a while back that I was just fascinated to see, a different style going on and something really exciting like this. What's the end goal for you, Josh Barnett?
Well, I think to build it into a product that has some international shows throughout the year, about 4 national shows, and I would like it so that WrestleMania week would be maybe the big culmination of a year, not a calendar year, but a year from each show during WrestleMania week, where we have like a giant one-night tournament. That's what I would like to have. But we haven't got there yet. And honestly, making it in indie wrestling is incredibly difficult. There's a lot of hurdles to overcome, and we're just going to keep pushing forward. And I have some ideas on ways to generate some more capital and be able to try and put these things together. But hell, I mean, we could use honestly more staff in this fashion too. It's a lot to do, especially when people like myself and Brett Lauderdale have such full dance cards as we do.
Well, I'm available. Give me a call. I'm always free to help out. So I will take a paycheck anytime, my friend. But yeah, this is going to be an incredibly exciting night for everybody during WrestleMania week. And I hope everybody will take the time to get their tickets and get over there to the Palms. Like I said, terrific place to watch this, and it is going to be a fascinating show. Stu, did you have any more questions for Josh?
No, just Josh, just promote, tell everybody, promote it. How do you get tickets? Will it be available on to stream? Just promote the show, please.
Yeah, it'll be available on Triller Plus. And there's a lot of ways at which you could get an opportunity to watch us. They often give out free weekly trials, so you could watch a show for free potentially. You can get tickets at Ticketmaster. We have to use Ticketmaster with the Palms, which was much to my dismay. I know, the fee structure and all that kind of crap. It's just absolutely brutal. So but understand that when you do buy a ticket or you actually go to Triller, whether you fully subscribe to Triller Plus or any of these things, like you're making it so that we can keep going. We can bring in more wrestlers. We can do more shows, more production. We can up the game and up the level. And we want this thing to grow, but we need the help of the fan base to do it. You can see all the different announcements on the internet. We're putting them out there. We still have at least one more match to announce. So keep your eyes peeled for what that's going to be. And April 17th, Thursday, 8 p.m. at the Palms. It should be a hell of a night. And this could arguably be the biggest BloodSport show to date.
No, we can't wait for it here in Las Vegas. It's going to be an awesome time. I believe Coach Rosey and I are planning on
We'll
heading
be
over
there.
checking it out. So and if we're coming, everybody else should come too, because it's going to be awesome.
I agree.
All right. So, and of course, if you want to follow the War Master, it's at Josh L. Barnett on X. And we want to wish you all the best for your BloodSport 13 show. Once again, that is at 8 p.m. on the 17th at the Palms in the Pearl Theater. Josh, thanks for coming on, man. I'm honored to get to finally talk to you, and wish you all the best with the show.
My pleasure. We just had Victor Henry win at UFC Fight Night last night. So, doing quite well for ourselves.
There you go. So thank you for joining us. We appreciate it, and we'll see you on the 17th, sir.
Right on. Thank you.
All right. There you go, everybody. Josh Barnett from Coach, you all right?
Yeah, I'm getting emotional, because I think I can take them. I just had a premonition that the match that's going to be announced is me against Barnett in the main event of Bloodsport. No,
you're a dead man. Shut up. Shut up, Coach Rosey.
Coach, just don't, please.
You will be knocked out in 15 seconds. Well, I'll give you 20 because that's right. You hurt your foot, so you can't move very well. Yeah, you're a dead man. All right. Yeah. Well, when we come back, once again, thanks, Josh Barnett. But we got a big pay-per-view tonight. The AEW Dynasty. We're gonna break that down. The betting odds are out. It's all sorts of crazy stuff. So I want to thank you all for being with us here on the Mark Hoke Show. We'll be back right after this on KDAWN 101.5 FM, Talk of Las Vegas.
The home selling season is here, and more people are moving to the Vegas Valley. If you're serious about selling your home, you don't want an agent that's just going to put up a sign and sit back and wait. You need an active agent. You need the Brinkus Realty Network with Keller Williams Realty, the marketplace.
The Brinkus team have proven marketing strategies to get your home in front of the most qualified buyers. That means you get top dollar for your home. In this market, you need an expert, and they know how to bring buyers to you. They've averaged more than 250 sales per year for the last 30 years.
They negotiate to get the price you want. The Brinkus team has a team of licensed staff and agents working together. So instead of one agent doing all the work, you get a whole roster of experts getting you the best deal possible. Get a custom proposal at no cost or obligation today. Go to Brinkus.com. That's BRENKUS.com and start packing. License number BS 16186.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at HIMSS.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to HIMSS.com/joy. That's HIMSS.com/joy for your free online visit.
Paid for by government. Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-222-3967, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-222-3967. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-222-3967 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-222-3967.
101.5 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Man, Josh Barnett just has me wanting to beat somebody up. I don't know. Which one of you guys is it? I mean, Mike Franco from
Mark,
Off-Grid
just
Creation.
Mark.
No.
Same
What?
as Coach Rosey. Just don't.
No.
Hey, the guy is serious as a hiccup, man. The look in his eye, I saw the way he was looking at me, and I'm thinking he wants to squabble on the 17th. So I'm hoping that announcement gets made really soon.
You're insane.
No.
You are
Leave the
insane,
fighting
Coach
to
Rosey.
those that get paid to do it.
Oh. You're only doing that because I said I'd come along, and then I'm going to have to scrape you up off the floor and carry you out.
I was going to say, now I'm really glad I'm staying in Austin.
Oh. No, Coach Rosey, bad. But I could beat up Mike Franco back here. I could try. I bet he beat me up too. He could.
Maybe.
But at worst, and after he does it, he'll make T-shirts to say I beat up Mark Hoke. You know, that's what he does at Off-Grid Creations. And if you want to, by the way, if you want to get special T-shirts, embroidery, your logo on anything you want, do me a favor and check them out at off-gridcreations.com. The guy's amazing. And you can see the beautiful sign right behind me, these amazing shirts, all sorts of terrific stuff he can do. And he'll get the job done. So make sure you head on over there to off-gridcreations.com. Get your free quote and brand consultation today. Give him a call, 661-300-1115. That's 661-300-1115. 661-300-1115. Give Mike Franco a call, and he will get you all set up. You know, you may have like a Coach Rosey section, or, you know, sports guys talking Wrestling West, or I don't know. We'll figure something out. But
the West Coast Bureau.
Yeah. So once again, it's off-gridcreations.com. Well, so there's going to be some crazy sections over in Philadelphia tonight, as there always is when there's wrestling in Philly, as we get ready for AEW Dynasty. We got a final lead up with Mox giving a paradigm shift to Willow Nightingale. We got Swerve Strickland getting power bombed on some glass and pulling an Undertaker and sitting up, and they're ready to go, boys. That main event with John Moxley and Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Championship is going to be something else. And by the way, this is really fascinating too. Betting odds on betonline.ag, where, of course, if you go to the markhokeshow.com, you can get a sign-up bonus on there. So do that right now. Would you believe this, guys? Here's the betting odds for this match. It is almost dead even. Dead even. Moxley is, and wow, it actually just shifted on me. They changed it because it was even. Now some money must have came in on Swerve, because he's now minus 250. Moxley plus 170. That, honest to God, it was like minus 110, minus 130 when I looked 2 hours ago. Who you got? Is finally time for Swerve to take this belt out of that case and take it home, or is Moxley keeping it? Stu.
Oh, boy. Okay. I have voiced my displeasure with the John Moxley World Title run.
Hate it.
You
hate it.
Pray that Swerve wins it. There might be a little bit of intrigue if you think back to Dynamite on Wednesday night. As Swerve's heading out the ring, Hangman Adam Page comes out and he's screaming at him, I burned your house down. I burned your house down because you invaded my house. And Swerve actually admitted it.
Yeah,
he said, I know. Almost like my bad. And
I deserved it.
It caught Hangman by surprise. Could that lead to Hangman helping Swerve?
Oh,
I don't know. I really want Swerve to win tonight. If for no other reason, let's end this Death Riders thing once and for all. But I got a feeling Mox is going to find a way to win, because
wow,
save the title change for All In.
Coach Rosey, who's winning this match tonight?
Smart guy, Stu. I got Moxley winning as well. As much as a fan as I want Swerve to win, I think they're setting it up for Ospreay to win it All In. So I'm just trying to put my wrestling PhD booking hat on, with Will winning the Owen Cup and then going on to winning the World Championship, beating all odds at All in Texas.
That's the one. That's the one issue that I have is with Swerve being the champion. If he would go to All In and lose again, that's not good for Swerve. Not at all. I don't think you want to put Swerve in that position. So
Yeah,
who knows what's going to happen here, though.
Yeah. Plus, if Ospreay does win the title, I think the more intriguing match would be Ospreay versus Mox. So, yeah, I don't, like I said, I would love for sure. I would love to be wrong. I got a feeling Mox retains tonight.
Yeah, and this card, by the way, expanded very fast over the last couple of days as they threw 3 of the Owen Hart Cup quarterfinal matches on here. Coach, good call or bad call on that? And I tell everybody what the matches are. I should. Will Ospreay, Kevin Knight, Mercedes Moné, Julia Hart, Kyle Fletcher, Mark Briscoe. Those 3 matches were added onto this card a couple of days ago.
It's the first time they've done that. They usually have those on Dynasty or on Dynamite or Collision, but they needed to fill this up. Tony Khan likes those 6-hour pay-per-views, and he needed some more matches to reach that goal. Do I like it? It's neither here nor there for me. AEW, unfortunately, is getting a little bit too predictable, and I hope it turns around tonight.
Stu, what did you think when you saw those matches up there? I can only imagine what you said.
Well, it was, so you got the finals happening at Double or Nothing. So you've got, you're trying to get all this tournament in between now and then. Honestly, the 3 matches, not exactly intriguing. I mean, look, I love Mark Briscoe to death, but I love Kevin Knight to death. Got to call a few of his matches when he was here in Austin for Inspire. But I don't think anybody expects Mercedes, Kyle Fletcher, and Will Ospreay to lose.
Right.
These are, to Coach Rosie's point, it's starting to get a little predictable. This is, it's starting to feel a little like WWE was a few years ago. It got to the point, WWE pay-per-views, you could, you didn't have to watch pay-per-view because you knew who was going to win.
Yeah, there's a lot of predictable matches on this card. You start, Moxley and Swerve's probably the one that we're all going to be watching. Timeless Tony Storm and Megan Bayne. That's an interesting one because I almost feel like Megan Bayne has just gotten pushed so hard, and for her to crash out against Tony Storm, that's a tough spot for Megan. We were talking about that with some booking with LA Knight and Naomi. You have an up and comer.
What's the spread? I'll take Megan Bayne.
Let me see that. Megan Bayne is a plus 400. Timeless Tony Storm minus 700.
Nah,
you got a plus 400.
No, 400 is not enough.
Is it just me, or does it seem like they're booking Megan Bayne kind of like early Goldberg?
Kind of.
Big statuesque, doesn't lose, doesn't say much, doesn't do interviews. That's what, that was Goldberg early in his run in WCW. And they're kind of doing the same thing with Megan Bayne. Now, Timeless Tony Storm just got the title back.
Right.
So are you gonna take it off her this quickly? I don't AEW for their faults, they don't do hot potato title reigns. So
usually,
I got a feeling Tony's going to retain somehow.
So once again, what happens to Megan Bayne? That's why I questioned her getting into a world title match so quickly, because she's got a rocket ship, a rocket attached to her back, but that rocket may be about to explode, and then what do you do?
Yeah. Unless you do take the title off Tony this quickly.
Yeah, and then speaking of, some of these other matches that, we're saying are predictable. I mean, just some of these betting odds. The Daniel Garcia, Adam Cole match. Wow, these moved. Some of these lines changed pretty fast. I'm going to do a refresh here real quick because Adam Cole, Garcia was the favorite, and now Adam Cole has shifted to being the betting favorite. Yep, he's at minus 500, so they're favoring Adam Cole now. They've got the Death Riders holding on to the Trios Championship because I think we all know that rated FTR is about to implode. Yep. So that's going to be a disaster there. Hurt Syndicate not losing to Big Bill and Brian Keith. Hurt Syndicate is a minus 5,000. Minus 5,000. But if you want to have fun, put a little money on Big Bill and Brian Keith, man. It's plus 12.
Well, and if you believe the talk about around the campfire, this was supposed to be murder machines. But Brian Cage's knee injury, made that an impossibility. So they had to throw Big Bill and Brian Keith in there. And look, I've been a big fan of Brian Keith, Texas boy. Called several of his matches on the indie circuit. I'm a big fan of Brian Keith. I honestly wish he could break away from Jericho and go back to being the bounty hunter. But yeah, Hurt Syndicate aren't losing those titles anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean they look great, and it'll be interesting to see maybe if MJF has a little fun with that tonight. But we're Osprey's a minus 5,000. Bandito is a minus 3,000 to win the Ring of Honor World Championship tonight.
Yeah, because you're not going to unmask Bandito.
No. Kenny Omega is a minus 3,000 to win that the international title match. Mercedes Moné is a minus 4,000. I mean, this is pretty crazy that a lot of these matches are, according to the betting odds, not up for grabs tonight at all.
The three-way with Omega, Ricochet, and Speedball Mike Bailey might end up being the match of the night. Again, they're not taking the title off Kenny because, again, if you believe the talk around the campfire, they're going to consolidate the international and continental titles. So that means we're going to get another chapter of Omega Okada. But that doesn't mean this match won't be fun. And I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, that I agree. That could end up being the match of the night. It's going to be a blast. All right, let's take one last break here before we do. We're talking about this betting odds, and you can go on betonline.ag. But first, go to my site at markhokeshow.com, click on the banner, and you get a 50% matching bonus up to $1,000. And you can bet, guys. I mean, the ridiculous amount of things you can bet on this site, it is crazy because you have the major sports like baseball, football, basketball, but then you also got cricket, auto racing, darts, Formula One. I mean, politics, snooker. It's all on there. Coach Rosey, you can bet on snooker, and I know you've been waiting.
I'm checking right now. Hit
it, man. Volleyball, whatever you need. Just go to betonline.ag. Have a little fun. You want to sprinkle a few dollars on pro wrestling. Enjoy it. And maybe you'll start scoring via the Mark Hoke Show. All right, let's take that break and get ready to wrap things up here. Just having an awesome time talking the best in pro wrestling. Coach Rosey, Josh Rosenbaum, Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, and little old me, Mark Hoke. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you on the other side of the break. Stick around.
Personal injury law has been the same for a long time. Big egos, greed, and sleazy schemes. Big and loud doesn't always mean right. And the conventional mold doesn't define success. Goodbye, false quick buck promises. We've had enough. Welcome to Sam and Ash, the new standard for personal injury law, where things are done the right way. With integrity, experience, and authenticity, we're champions for the underdog. Life happens, and when you need help, you deserve a team without hidden agendas. A team that delivers real support and results. When you have both, your whole world can change. So if you've been hurt in a crash, call Sam and Ash, 702-303-0333. Sam and Ash, because you deserve what's right.
If you need to sell your house,
talk to Aaron Taylor.
You want to sell it fast and get the most cash, talk to Aaron Taylor,
the real estate guy.
Hi, I'm Aaron Taylor. I've been helping families buy and sell homes for over 30 years. And the most rewarding part?
watching my son grow up in this business.
Hi, I'm Jacob Taylor, and I'm proud to say I'm now a broker working side by side with my dad to continue the legacy he started.
Our clients are like family to us. That's why we buy distressed properties within 24 hours or less, offer cash advances with zero interest, cover repairs up front, and go above and beyond to get our sellers top dollar.
And for our buyers, we negotiate like it's for our own family, because that's how we treat every client.
Experience, integrity, and heart. That's what we bring to every deal.
So call the real estate guy at 702-310-6683 or visit therealestateguyLV.com.
eXp Realty, license number 38886. Call for details.
Talk to Aaron Taylor,
the real estate guy.
Ever had one of those moments when you're enjoying a hot shower and then yikes, cold water hits you? Not exactly the wake-up call you want. That happens when your water heater's full of gunk and working harder than it should. Gettle's Water Heater Rejuvenation gives your system a deep clean so it heats efficiently. And while we're there, we'll do a free plumbing inspection to make sure no hidden surprises are lurking in your pipes. Visit Gettle.com. Goettl. Will keep your water warm, but it's hard to spell.
Look your smile again with 4M.
Are you missing multiple teeth? Do you have loose teeth, bleeding gums, or pain when you bite? I know how difficult that can be. If you cover your mouth when you talk or avoid photos because of your smile, I can help. No matter how bad your teeth are, we can give you permanent, natural-looking teeth in just 24 hours. I'm Dr. Sean, founder of 4M Dental Implant Centers. With 4M Smile in 24, you get strong, permanent teeth, custom designed just for you. We've performed over 20,000 implant surgeries, helping thousands in Las Vegas smile again. Our in-house lab makes your new smile faster, more precise, and more affordable. Your dental implants come with a lifetime warranty. And with financing options as low as $159 a month or 24 months interest-free, now is the time to take the first step. Call 800-4M-DENTAL or visit us at 4mdentalimplants.com.
Your smile again with 4M.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, let's do this one more time. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment on The Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN. And don't forget, we are on YouTube, X, and Facebook. And you'll get to head onto the YouTube channel or, what, and it'll be up everywhere. But, the interview with Josh Barnett from BloodSport. They're going to be here on the 17th, 8 p.m. at the Pearl Theater at the Palms. Should be an outstanding night. And Cross is going to be there, which just makes everybody in Las Vegas go absolutely insane. And he's not the only one. Natty Neidhart and so many others are going to be on this card. So make sure you check it out. I wonder who that mystery match is, though, Stu. I have a feeling Barnett he's got to fight on this card, doesn't he?
It would be cool. It would be cool to see him step up. But yeah, that mystery match is intriguing. Now, could it be another WWE contracted wrestler? Because he's got several on there, and let's think about that for a moment. I mean, there was a day not too long ago when you wouldn't see WWE wrestlers on an independent, and it is an independent card. Yes, it's Bloodsport, and now you've got like 6. Because I forget, Charlie Dempsey's still with NXT. Yep. So that's 6 WWE contracted wrestlers on Bloodsport, a non-WWE show.
You know who I think would be fun? Here's my match. Give me Raj Desi against John Moxley. They're GCW-ish guys. That could be all right. I'll take that fight.
I'm trying to think. Why does it seem like they've faced each other?
I don't know. I mean, it's possible.
Dean Ambrose versus Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, possible.
I don't know. That'd be fun. That'd be cool.
Yeah, or maybe Charlotte Flair against one of the fans that booed her. No. It took you guys a second on that.
We don't need that.
No. We don't need it. But I was taking a look at some of the WrestleMania ticket sales. So right now, and Saturday's got about 4,400 left. They're close to around 2,000 left for Sunday. So we're starting to get there. But some of the other events, they're lagging behind a little bit. I know the roast has about a third of their tickets left. A lot of tickets left for the Hall of Fame ceremony. Guys, I think they may have outpriced themselves on that. Those min tickets are $200. Min ticket to go to the Hall of Fame ceremony, Coach.
I will be going to the Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy show that night.
Oh, what's that?
Westgate, 8:00. They're doing a live taping of the podcast, and then Jeff is going to have a concert.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I saw that. That should be fun. They were actually they were just here. They were in Belton, just north of Austin, a few weeks ago. I had them on my show because they were doing they were doing the TNA was doing the loop through Texas. They were hitting Dallas. They hit San Antonio, and they were doing. Jeff had a concert at a bar in Belton, like I said, just north of Austin. So that should be a fun one. With Matt and Jeff.
Yeah, and Coach, does Joe Hendry survive this triple threat match at Unbreakable?
Yes, I think so. I do. I'm getting more and more into TNA in the last couple months because of Matt and Jeff. I would not have been involved with TNA if it wasn't for the Hardy Boys, because I'm a big Hardy Boys mark. But with them coming on this little West Coast swing now, I'll be in LA to watch that pay-per-view live. I'm going to go to Josh's show on Thursday night. Otherwise, I would have been in their show in Vegas. So TNA, like I said, I think a couple weeks ago, they've slowly moved into my number 2.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that, Stu? I mean, TNA, may have. I don't know how some of these moves they made are going to work out behind the scenes, but they're right there. They're right there.
That is going to be something to have to keep an eye on. But yeah, TNA, they have been putting on some fantastic shows for the last couple of years. And they're solid. They know who they are, and they go with who they are. And they need a better TV deal. They need to get off Access TV, get on a network that is cleared by more cable systems. But you're going to get entertained with a TNA event, and it's and you're going to see some fantastic talent. And I would say this is even before doing the relationship with WWE and NXT. So yeah, I enjoy TNA.
Yeah, they've been on a roll lately, and the one thing I just hope doesn't happen is that WWE doesn't swallow them up. I think it's a distinct possibility at some point it'll happen. I mean, I can't, with WWE money, and they go to Anthem and say, "Hey guys, what do you want?" and writes them a blank check. Yeah, could be curtains for TNA, but who knows? That's going to be that's a relationship. I don't know. I always had a little bit of a bad feeling about it, but so far it's worked out okay.
Yeah,
I like it because of the whole unpredictability thing. I mean, we just saw Ethan Page come out on TNA. We've also seen the Hardys come over to NXT. You never know what to expect on a TNA show or an NXT show based on who or what is going to show up. So that's what really has me watching every week.
Yeah, Mark, I'm with you, especially after letting go of the front office staff, and Gail Kim and Ariel Schnur. It feels like they're unloading staff so that they could set it up to be bought by WWE. Now, what does WWE do with it if they buy it?
Nothing.
It's a tape library.
Yep.
They've got, which they could use. I guess they could start another YouTube channel, the TNA Vault. Outside of that, not much else.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see where it is about 2 years down the road. But guys, we got to wrap it up. I want to thank both of you for being with us. Coach Rosey from adfreeshows.com. Give me a couple seconds. Tell us about Ad Free Shows. And I can't hear Coach Rosey's mic's muted.
The dogs are barking. I was just going to say they're excited too about Lex Luger making the Hall of Fame. We're doing a bunch of shows for Lex in the next week.
That'll be cool. And Stu Myrick, Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, of course. Great show. Tell everybody about that real fast. Got about 10 seconds.
Talking wrestling, we cover wrestling. Great insight from great wrestling insiders. At your favorite podcast platform, including the Odyssey app.
All right. That's going to do it for us. And once again, I want to thank Josh Barnett for joining us on the show. Make sure you check out the BloodSport show here in Las Vegas. And that'll be all. And by the way, we didn't say goodbye. Hi to Scoop. Scoop! So, got to get that into the old chat box there. But thanks for being here, everybody. We do appreciate it. We'll see you next time on The Mark Hoke Show. Follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook and YouTube, The Mark Hoke Show. Give us likes and subscribes and all sorts of cool stuff. And we'll see you next week. Have a great day, Las Vegas. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show. Like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show. And visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
Ever wonder what happened?